Fairview is an hour north of San Diego. A small town nestled between coastal cliffs and pine forests. Tourists are rare. The residents know each other. It is quiet. Too quiet. Emily Lowell was born in this town. She is 32 years old. She works as an emergency room nurse at Fairview Medical Center. She is not tall. Her black hair is always tied back. Her expression is calm. She doesn't talk much. She lives alone, in a small house on the outskirts of town. She wakes up in the morning and drinks coffee. Goes to work at the hospital. Returns home after her shift. Eats dinner and reads books. On Sundays, she walks along the coast. Regular. Safe. But Emily knows. This town took something from her. It was the winter Emily turned 12. Her father, David Lowell, disappeared. One morning, he left the house. He never came back. Her father was a marine biologist. He taught at the university. A quiet, diligent man. But in the weeks before his disappearance, he changed. He seemed anxious. He often looked out the window. When he answered the phone, he lowered his voice. On the last morning, her father told Emily, "Someone is watching us. Trust no one." Emily didn't understand. Her father walked out the door. That was the last time. The police investigated. A missing person report was filed. Searches were conducted. Nothing was found. 3 months later, the investigation was closed. Concluded as voluntary disappearance. Her mother collapsed. Emily was confused. But time passed. Her mother moved to another city. Emily stayed in Fairview. Why did she stay? Emily asks herself. Was it hope that her father might return? Or was it fear? The fear that leaving would mean losing him completely. It was a night in March. Heavy rain poured down. The wind blew hard. Emily was on night shift. At 11:32 p.m., the emergency room doors opened. 2 paramedics pushed in a stretcher. A man lay on it. Found him on the coastal road. Consciousness is dim. Emily approached. The man appeared to be in his late 40s. His face was pale. His clothes were soaked. No external injuries. Where does it hurt? The man didn't answer. His eyes were closed. Emily checked his vital signs. His pulse was fast. Blood pressure was high. "Sir, can you hear me?" The man opened his eyes. His pupils trembled. He stared straight at Emily. Then grabbed her wrist. There, watching. Emily's heart seemed to stop. Trust no one. The same words. Exactly the same words her father had left. The man released her wrist. Closed his eyes again. Emily stepped back. Her hands trembled. "Doctor." Emily called for the attending physician. The doctor came. Examination began. Emily stood beside them. She couldn't concentrate. 20 minutes later, Emily left briefly to get medication. When she returned, the bed was empty. "Where's the patient?" A nurse shook her head. "Probably went to the bathroom." Emily checked the corridor. Checked the bathroom. Checked the waiting room. No one. The man had disappeared. The next morning, Emily went to find the security chief. "I'd like to check last night's CCTV." The security chief nodded. Turned on the screen. Emily watched. 11:32, the man was brought in on the stretcher. 11:52, Emily headed to the medication room. And from 11:53 to 12:02, the screen was frozen. Why did it cut out? Well, seems like a system error. For 9 minutes? The security chief didn't answer. Emily stared at the screen. After 12:02, the bed was empty. Someone deliberately erased it. Emily was certain. On the drive home, the rain had stopped, but the sky was still overcast. Emily drove and thought. Her father's words 20 years ago. The man's words last night. The missing CCTV footage. It wasn't coincidence. Somewhere in Fairview, the truth was hidden. Emily could no longer look away. Emily went to work as usual. But her mind was different. Last night's incident wouldn't leave her head. The man's face, the touch of his grip on her wrist, the gap in the missing CCTV. The hospital was quiet. Her colleagues seemed to have forgotten about it. No one asked. Emily didn't speak of it either. After work, she came home. Opened the door. Stopped. Something was different. The cushions on the living room sofa had shifted slightly. A book on the shelf was tilted. The cup on the kitchen table was in a different place than usual. Small changes. Someone else wouldn't have noticed. But Emily was a methodical person. She remembered the position of every object. Someone had been inside. Her heart beat faster. Emily slowly examined the house. Bedroom, bathroom, windows. All locked. No traces, but she was certain. Someone had been here. The next morning, she opened the mailbox. A few bills and flyers inside. The order was mixed up. Emily always arranged them by date. Someone had rifled through them. She got in the car. The rearview mirror angle was different. The driver's seat was pushed back slightly. Emily took a deep breath. Tried to calm down, but fear washed over her. Someone was watching. The hospital break room. Lunchtime. Emily was drinking coffee. The door opened. A man entered. He appeared to be in his mid-50s. Wearing a gray suit. Short silver hair. Sharp features. Nurse Lowell? Emily looked up. Yes? Vincent Myers. Fairview Security. The man held out a business card. Emily didn't take it. I wanted to ask about last night's incident. I already told the security chief. I know, but I'd like to confirm a few more things. Vincent pulled out a chair and sat. Emily looked at him. The man's eyes were cold and sharp. What did the patient say? His consciousness was dim. He didn't say much. Really? Emily didn't answer. Vincent smiled. A smile without warmth. Nurse Lowell, this is a small town. Word spreads quickly. Everyone knows about your father. Emily's expression hardened. I don't know what you mean. Before your father disappeared, I heard he showed strange behavior. Anxiety, delusions, that sort of thing. It could be genetic. Similar symptoms can appear under stress. Vincent placed his card on the table. If anything strange happens, contact me. I'll help you. He stood up, walked toward the door, stopped at the doorway and turned around. Be careful, Nurse Lowell. This town is complicated. Vincent left. Emily sat in her seat. Her hands trembled. It was a threat, a blatant threat. That evening, Emily didn't go home. She headed to the town library. Searched for old newspaper archives. She opened an article from 20 years ago. The headline read, Professor David Lowell missing. It was a short article. No specific details. She found other articles. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. All missing person cases. All Fairview residents. 8 cases in total. Emily wrote down names. Wrote down dates. Tried to find a pattern. Do you need help? She turned around. A young man stood there. He appeared to be in his early 30s. Wore glasses. Had a backpack. Who are you? Jason Park. I'm a local newspaper reporter. The man handed her a business card. Emily took it. You're looking into disappearances. How do you know? Because I'm investigating the same thing. Jason pulled a file from his bag. A thick file. Would you like to get coffee? I have something to show you. Emily hesitated. Her father's words trust no one came to mind. But she had no choice. She couldn't do this alone. All right. The two went to a cafe near the library. Sat in a quiet spot. Jason opened the file. 12 people have disappeared from Fairview in 20 years. Only 8 are on official record. The others? Never even reported. Families handled it quietly, or the records disappeared altogether. Jason pulled out a photo. Emily's father. Your father is one of them. Emily looked at the photo. Her throat tightened. Why are you investigating this? My brother disappeared 5 years ago. Officially ruled a suicide, but I don't believe it. Jason's voice lowered. There's something in this town. An old secret. And people protecting it. Vincent Myers? Jason nodded. He's just the beginning. There's something deeper. Emily thought. Vincent's threat, the signs of intrusion at her house, the missing CCTV. What should we do? We need to find evidence. Expose what they're hiding. Jason unfolded a map. A section along the coastal cliffs was marked. Here, a closed military facility. The Navy used it until 30 years ago. It's a restricted area now, but what's there? That's what we need to find out. Emily looked out the window. Darkness was falling. The town was quiet. Too quiet. It will be dangerous. I know. Emily looked at Jason. His eyes were serious. Will you come with me? Emily hesitated for a long time. She was afraid, but she could no longer run away. I'll go. The two shook hands. Left the cafe. The night wind was cold. Emily looked up at the sky. No stars visible. Something was beginning. Something irreversible. 2 days later, Emily and Jason met again. A small warehouse on the outskirts of town, where Jason kept his investigation materials. Look here. Jason pointed to photos pinned on the wall. 12 faces. Men, women, young people, elderly. All different, but one thing was the same. They had all disappeared. Emily stood before her father's photo. From 20 years ago. He was smiling. Her chest ached. There's a pattern. Jason unfolded a timeline. 2 weeks before disappearing, they all showed similar symptoms. Anxiety, paranoia, feeling watched. My father too. Yes. And right before disappearing, they all met someone. Security-related people. Emily turned around. Vincent Myers? Including him. But Vincent wasn't here 20 years ago. There were others. Jason pulled out an old document. Faded paper. In the 1990s, there was a Navy surveillance base in this town. A relic of the Cold War. Officially closed in 1998. Officially? Actually operated until 2005. Unofficially. Emily read the document. Much of the content was coded. But one thing was clear. This base was used for civilian surveillance. Why civilians? I don't know, but half the missing were scientists or researchers. Like your father, Emily thought. Her father was a marine biologist. What connection could he have had with the military? There's more. Jason opened another file. Testimony records. 3 years ago, a family member of a missing person contacted me. Anonymously. They said they erase people to keep secrets. Along with the evidence. Erase means, literally, silence fell. Emily looked at the photos again. 12 faces. 12 lives. All someone's family. What can we do? We need to find evidence. We have to go to the closed base. Emily nodded. She was afraid, but she was certain. Her father hadn't gone crazy. He knew the truth. That's why he disappeared. The next night, Emily came home, turned on the lights, stopped. On the living room table lay a photograph. A photo of Emily and her father. Taken when she was 10. It had been in her album. Words were written on the back. Stop. Her hands trembled. Someone had entered again, went through her album, left a warning. Emily looked around. No one, but she could feel it. Someone was watching. She pulled out her phone. Called Jason. Hello? It's me. Someone entered my house again. Where are you now? At home. Leave. Right now. Emily grabbed her bag, opened the door, went outside. A car was parked. A black sedan. Emily knew that car. She'd seen it in the hospital parking lot. Vincent's car. The inside was dark, but someone sat inside, watching Emily. Emily turned and walked. Walked quickly. Behind her, the sound of a car door opening. Nurse Lowell. Vincent's voice. Emily didn't stop. Wait a moment. Footsteps grew closer. Emily started running. Turned a corner. Entered an alley. She was out of breath. Looked back. Vincent wasn't following, but he stood there, watching. Emily kept walking. Headed to Jason's warehouse. She knocked on the warehouse door. Jason opened it. Are you okay? No. Emily went inside. Sat down. Her hands shook. Jason handed her a glass of water. Emily drank. Slowly calmed down. Vincent was outside my house. We expected this. What do we do now? They're watching us. They know everything. Jason didn't answer. Looked out the window. Long silence fell. My brother must have felt this way. Jason's voice was low. He must have been scared. Alone. With nowhere to run. He turned around. But we are too. And now we know what we're looking for. Emily looked at him. Jason's eyes didn't waver. Tomorrow night, we go to the base. Get ready. It's dangerous. I know. But it's the only way. Emily nodded. There was no choice. That night Emily slept in the warehouse. Sleep wouldn't come. Her father's face in the photo came to mind. His last words echoed. Someone is watching us. Her father was right. And now Emily had to know. Why, and who? Dawn broke. Dim light entered through the window. Emily got up. Packed her bag. Jason unfolded the map. Ready? Yes. The two looked at each other. Words weren't needed. It was time to walk into the storm. Night was deep. Emily and Jason descended below the coastal cliff. A steep path. Only flashlight beams lit the way ahead. The wind blew hard. The sound of waves was loud. Emily stepped carefully. There it is. Jason pointed. Below the cliff, a concrete structure was visible. A rusted iron door half open. The two stood before the door. Emily shone her flashlight. The darkness was deep. Shall we enter? Yes. Jason entered first. Emily followed. A corridor. Narrow and damp. Moss grew on the walls. Water dripped from the ceiling. They walked. The corridor was long. Branched into several rooms. Jason opened doors one by one. The first room was empty. The second room had broken desks and chairs. They stopped at the third room. File cabinets. Drawers open. Documents spilled out. Emily picked up a document. Faded but readable. Surveillance target list. Names were written. With dates. Emily went down the list. Her hand stopped. David Lowell, February 12, 2005. Her father. 1 month before his disappearance. Look here too. Jason held another document. Surveillance reports. Daily movements, people met, even call records written down. This is illegal. That's why they hid it. Emily searched through more documents. All 12 names were there. All surveillance targets. All disappeared. Why did they do this? Still don't know. We need to find more. The two went deeper inside. A larger room appeared. Equipment was placed. Old computers, recorders, communication equipment. Jason turned on a computer. It didn't work. He opened a drawer. A USB drive was inside. We need to take this. What's on it? Evidence, probably. That's when it happened. A sound from the corridor. Footsteps. Getting closer. Emily and Jason looked at each other. Turned off flashlights. Darkness fell. The footsteps stopped. At the door. Anyone there? Vincent's voice. Silence flowed. Emily held her breath. Come out, Nurse Lowell. I know that you're in there. The door slowly opened. Flashlight beam entered. Vincent stood there. He wasn't alone. 2 men were with him. You shouldn't be here. Vincent walked into the room. Looked between Emily and Jason. Go back. Right now. Why should we? Emily asked. Her voice trembled but was clear. What happened? Why did people disappear? Vincent didn't answer. Looked down at the documents. Sighed. You won't understand. Try explaining. Vincent looked at Emily. Long silence fell. National security. Legacy of the Cold War. This base monitored enemy movements. But even after the war ended, surveillance continued. Of civilians? It was necessary. Some researchers accessed dangerous information. Like your father. Emily's heart pounded. What did my father know? He discovered something during marine biology research. Things buried in these waters. Cold War weapons, experimental debris. Things that couldn't be made public. So you killed them? No. Vincent shook his head. We protected them, relocated them, gave them new identities. That's a lie, Jason said. My brother was ruled a suicide. His body was found. Vincent didn't answer. His expression hardened. Not all cases were the same. What does that mean? Some didn't cooperate. The room went quiet. Emily understood. Those who didn't cooperate disappeared. Forever. My father? He cooperated. He should be alive. Where? I don't know. It's beyond my authority. Emily looked at Vincent. His eyes were cold, but it didn't seem like a lie. Hand over the USB. Vincent held out his hand. It contains information I can't protect you from. Protect? Emily laughed. A bitter laugh. You threatened us. Surveilled us. I tried to stop you. So you wouldn't fall into danger. We're already in danger. Because of you. Jason took out the USB. Put it in his pocket. We're leaving. Don't stop us. Vincent didn't move. The 2 men blocked the way. You can't. Why? This secret must stay buried. Too many people are involved. If you expose it, it will be uncontrollable. That's what you're afraid of. The truth being revealed. Emily took a step forward. 12 lives were destroyed. Families suffered. And you're saying keeping secrets is what matters? Vincent didn't answer. Emily turned around, looked at Jason, nodded. The 2 walked toward the door. The men blocked them. Jason pushed. A scuffle broke out. Stop. Vincent shouted. The men stopped. Let them go. But, I said let them go. The men stepped aside. Emily and Jason left through the door. Ran down the corridor. Got outside. The wind blew. It was cold, but they were free. The 2 climbed the cliff. Looked back. Vincent stood at the door. Watching. Emily touched the USB in her pocket. The truth was inside. They'd finally found it. Now it was time to tell the world. 3 days passed. Emily and Jason analyzed the USB contents. The files were extensive. Surveillance records, recordings, documents, photos. All the evidence was there. Jason wrote the article. Carefully, accurately. Verified every fact. Emily reviewed it. Once we publish this, there's no going back. Jason said, I know. Fairview will change. So will your life. It already has. Emily looked out the window. The town was visible. Quiet streets, peaceful houses. But darkness hid beneath. Send it. Jason typed on the keyboard. One click. The article was sent. To major news outlets, to federal agencies. Now it was beginning. 2 days later, Fairview was filled with journalists. News trucks lined the streets. Cameras filmed the town. Emily stayed home. The phone rang constantly. Interview requests. She declined. It wasn't time yet. Federal investigators came, searched the closed base, confiscated documents, summoned Vincent. The town fell into chaos. Residents were shocked. Truth hidden for 20 years was revealed. Emily watched quietly. She was sad, but it was necessary. A week later, Emily returned to the hospital. Colleagues saw her. It was awkward. They didn't know what to say. Emily worked as usual, cared for patients, spoke little, focused on work. Lunchtime, she sat alone in the break room. The door opened. A senior nurse entered. Lowell. Yes. Want some tea? Emily nodded. The two sat together. It must have been hard. I'm okay. You did the right thing. It was brave. Emily didn't answer. Drank her tea. Your father would be proud. Her throat tightened. She lowered her head. Thank you. The senior took her hand. It was warm. A month passed. The investigation continued. Vincent was indicted. Other involved parties were summoned. Truth gradually emerged. Families of the missing contacted her. Wanted to meet Emily. Wanted to express gratitude. Emily met them one by one. Listened to their stories. Their pain, their waiting, their inability to let go. Is my daughter alive somewhere like your father? A mother asked. Tears welled in her eyes. I don't know. Emily answered honestly. But now we can search. Because we know the truth. The mother nodded, squeezed Emily's hand tight. Spring came. Fairview gradually returned to daily life. Journalists left. But the town was different from before. No more secrets. Emily stood on the coastal cliff. The wind blew. Waves crashed. The sky was clear. She thought of her father. That day 20 years ago. His last words. His retreating figure. Someone is watching us. Trust no one. Her father must have been afraid. Must have been alone. But he didn't give up. Tried to protect the truth. Emily understood now. Her father's choice. What he left behind. Dad. Her voice scattered in the wind. It's okay now. I'm not afraid anymore. Tears fell. She cried for the first time. Not tears of sadness but of relief. Footsteps behind her. It was Jason. Here you are. Yes. The federal investigator called. They found a new lead. Emily turned around. What lead? A protection program list. Your father's name is on it. Her heart pounded. Is he alive? I don't know. But we can find him. Emily looked at the ocean. The horizon stretched wide. No end in sight. But she wasn't afraid. We have to find him. Will you come with me? Emily nodded. Jason smiled. It will be a long journey. I know. The two descended the cliff. Headed toward town. Emily looked back once more. The ocean was shining. Sunlight breaking on the waves. Wherever her father was, alive or not, the truth had been revealed. The secrets had ended. Now it was a new beginning. That evening, Emily opened her mailbox at home. A letter inside. No return address. Her hands trembled. She tore open the envelope. Pulled out the letter. She recognized the handwriting. Her father's writing. Dear Emily, so much time has passed. Please forgive me. I had no choice. I know the truth you've uncovered. You were brave. I'm proud. We can meet soon. When it's safe. Wait for me. I love you, Dad. The letter shook. Tears fell. The writing blurred. Emily held the letter to her chest. Cried. This time tears of joy. Her father was alive, waiting somewhere, and someday they would meet again. Summer came. Fairview was peaceful. Real peace. Not the quiet built on lies. Emily worked every day. Cared for patients. After work, met with Jason. Continued investigating. To find her father. It was difficult. Clues were few. But they didn't give up. One Sunday morning, Emily walked along the coast. Her regular walk. But now it meant something different. Before, it was escape. From the past, from memories. But now it was hope. Steps toward the future. She sat on a bench. Looked at the ocean. The wind blew. Her hair flew. Her phone rang. Jason. Hello? Emily, listen. His voice trembled. He sounded excited. What? The federal investigator called. They found your father's location. Her heart seemed to stop. Really? Oregon. living in a small town under a different name. Emily stopped breathing, couldn't believe it. Can I see him? The investigator will arrange it. In a few days. Thank you. She hung up, looked at the ocean. Tears fell. She'd waited 20 years. Now the end was in sight. A week later, Emily headed to Oregon. Jason came with her. The federal investigator guided them. A small coastal town, similar to Fairview, quiet and peaceful. The car stopped. In front of a small house. A garden. Flowers blooming. That's the house, the investigator said. Emily got out of the car. Looked at the house. Her legs trembled. Are you okay? Jason asked. I don't know. Take your time. Emily nodded. Walked the garden path. Stood at the front door. Raised her hand. Stopped. Took a deep breath. Knocked. Footsteps. The door opened. A man stood there. In his 60s. White hair. But the eyes were the same as in memory. Her father. Emily. His voice trembled. Tears fell. Emily couldn't say anything. Just looked. Her father opened his arms. Emily rushed forward. Embraced him. I'm sorry, so sorry. Her father whispered. It's okay. Emily cried. It's okay now. They held each other for a long time. Words weren't needed. Just being together was enough. The wind blew. It was warm. Spring wind. The wind from Fairview was cold. Carried secrets and fear. But the wind here was different. Carried freedom and hope. Emily released her father. Looked at his face. Smiled. We have a lot to talk about. Yes, we have plenty of time. The two entered the house. The door closed. Jason stood outside watching. Smiled. Turned around. Looked up at the sky. Sunlight poured through the clouds. The long journey had ended. It was a new beginning. That night, Emily and her father talked for hours. Filled 20 years of emptiness. Her father spoke. What he discovered, how he was threatened, the choices he had to make. That he had to leave to protect Emily. Emily listened. She wasn't angry. She understood. Do you regret it? Every day. But if I could choose again, I'd make the same decision. I had to protect you. We're safe now. Both of us. Her father took her hand. You did it. Revealed the truth. You were braver than me. No, you started it. I just finished. The two smiled. Looked out the window. Stars were shining. What will you do now? I'll return to Fairview. My life is there. Alone? No, I'm not alone anymore. Emily looked at her father. I'll visit sometimes. Often. I'll wait. Night deepened. Emily slept in a small room. For the first time in 20 years, peaceful sleep. Morning broke. Birds chirped. Sunlight was warm. Emily got up. Opened the window. The ocean was visible. Same as Fairview's ocean. But the feeling was different. Now she was free. A few days later, Emily returned to Fairview. The house was the same. But something was different. No more watching eyes. No more fear. She went to work at the hospital. Colleagues welcomed her. Daily life continued. After work, she walked the coast. Stood on the cliff. The wind blew. Same wind, but now it felt different. Before, cold and anxious. Now cool and free. Emily closed her eyes. Breathed deeply. Her father's face came to mind. Smiling. The faces of the disappeared also came to mind. Now they too could be found. Jason's voice came to mind. Will you come with me? She wasn't alone. Not anymore. She opened her eyes. Looked at the horizon. Sunlight sparkled on the waves. There would be hard times ahead. Sad days too. But it was okay. She knew the truth. She wasn't afraid. Emily smiled. Turned around. Headed home. The wind followed. Gently, warmly. Fairview was still a small town. Still quiet. But now it was real peace. The secrets had ended. Truth had begun. The end.